Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all coming on.
Sorry. Hi, Kylie.
Hi.
I have to call my manager just to...
Hello.
OK, yeah.
New faces.
Voulez vous asseoir quelque part? Parce qu'elle a besoin de me faire un refund.
I'm just going to mute some of you just as we're recording today as well. So we've had quite a few people register for this. So I am recording it because some of them can't attend live, which is totally, absolutely fine. So if you're one of those and you're watching the replay, welcome as well. And welcome if you're new around here too. I'm Kylie, by the way. I wanted to run through this masterclass because, namely because, I've been in the industry for quite some time and I would have loved to have someone talk to me about how to deal with trade prices. I would have loved someone to have helped me. But instead, like many of us, we stumble our way through. I just thought I'll go into a little bit about Interiors Insider a little bit later, but I just thought it'd be nice for us to get together and discuss how we handle our trade pricing. And what I see with trade discounts and, over the years and working with clients and also just from my experience with talking to other designers and also the way that I've handled my trade discounts as well. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to share my screen and just as we get into it, look, this will be a really informal chat. If you've got a question, you can either pop it in the chat box or you can just raise your hand if you like, or just unmute yourself and pop in, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Or if you've got a different point of view as well, then that is totally fine. And, please feel free to air whatever you would like on this topic. So I'm just going to let a few others in the room. Okay, so we are recording. I'm going to share the screen. And just wait till we go into this. Almost one after moving all out of the way. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up in the comments if everyone can hear okay and you can see the screen okay. So we've got the full screen here. Trade discounts, how do you handle them? Oh, great, Beck, that's amazing. Thank you so much for coming. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. So what I wanted to just talk about, as I said earlier, trade discounts, how do we deal with them in the industry? This is something we're really not taught in design school, if some of us went to design school. I know for me, 13 years in the industry, as I said, I stumbled my way through. I did start at design school, but I never finished it for various reasons. I had 3 small children and just as I was getting to the pointy end of finishing it, I maybe might have been halfway through. My dad became very sick and so did my husband's mother. And anyway, consequently, both of them passed away and I never really actually went back and finished off schooling. So I've been fortunate enough to make a lot of contacts in the industry and I'm probably one of those people that asks lots of questions and sometimes don't always get answers, but I do like to ask and I do like to share. So you'll get the gist of that as we go through this. So that's my aim, that we get to share as much information as we all can and help each other to grow and build amazing businesses. So introduction. So today is about sharing knowledge to help each other. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. This is a discussion and it's my aim to help you become educated on the topic and make the right decision for your business, okay? So there's nothing in it here. All this is about sharing information. So as I said, as we go through, if you've got a question, then feel free to pop it in the chat box. I might not be able to see it, or just unmute yourself and we'll have a very informal chat as we go along. And I'd love to hear how you're handling your trade discounts as well. So just a little bit about me. I'm Kylie. I'm an interior designer who I love helping other designers build their businesses. I really, I really got tired of trying to find the tribe, my own tribe, and I looked really long and hard. I'm a big advocate of women in business. I love women earning their own money and being independent, and I love having a network of women around me, and it's really important for me for my own development to keep learning. So I'm a lover of learning, and I'm really not into secrecy or competition. So I believe designers should support and uplift each other by helping and boosting one another, and we can elevate the whole industry together. Like, this is a really amazing industry, and especially if you're a working mum, this is an amazing industry to be in. So I share lots of business secrets as such, and really, I think more and more people are starting to jump into this sort of scenario. I guess back in the day, and I still feel it today, that the successful designers don't always want to share why they're successful or how they're successful. And it is a very secretive industry. But, I do honestly believe that, if you've got the right niche, there's enough business in this, for all of us. Like, there's enough, it's like being a hairdresser. Certain people are going to click with certain people, and I think you just need to stay true to who you are and really surround yourself with amazing women in the industry. And I think, and that's a little bit about me. So first up, this presentation is not intended to be legal advice. I need to put that out there straight away. It's my observations of what I have seen happen within the industry. So please make sure that you speak with your lawyer or your legal representative about this, and make sure that you're doing business legally, okay? I think that that's really, really important, particularly as we go through this and we talk about different ways that you can handle this. I think from a legal point of view, there's some important legal issues that relate to passing on trade discounts, including what you should include in your client agreements, what you should write on invoices, disclosure, conflict of interest from your supplier point of view. There's just so many factors, and some of you may not realise the legal implications of this topic. So please make sure you get your own legal advice on what's most suitable for your business model. So especially if you're keeping some or all of trade discounts that you're securing from your suppliers. Trade discounts. So starting off really basically here is, what is a trade discount? So the discounts, these are the discounts that interior designers, decorators and stylists can get with their suppliers that they work with, e.g. suppliers who sell furniture. So, I'm talking about Satara, Coco Republic, Globe West, artwork suppliers that you can obtain trade discount from. So the likes of Greenhouse Interiors, Fine Print, Warren Brook, lots of those who offer different varying discounts. Window covering suppliers and bathroom and kitchen fixtures suppliers. So for instance there, I'm talking about, for me, I have a relationship with my local tile gallery store, that if I take a client in there, then I get 15% discount or off. Well, that client, I get the 15% discount. I choose whether I pass some or all of that 15% discount off to my client who I bring in through their doors. So really, a trade discount is a reward that we get for giving our suppliers lots of business, I guess, that they wouldn't. So we become advocates for their business and we push business through. And really, in the grand scheme of things, it's a win-win proposition. So we're we're getting the discount and they're getting the business. And then our clients are benefiting from that as well. So trade discounts, I think, are really important. I think they're important, and they're not to be taken lightly. And I think depending on, what suppliers you're working with, trade discounts can be, really quite valuable and definitely a viable stream of income in your business. Okay, so a little bit later I'll talk about how I use the trade discounts, but some of the options, which we'll all pretty much know, but so your options are you can keep the full discount, and the full discount can, an actual trade discount can vary from different suppliers. So I know, and also with the spend that you spend with them. So like I know RG Living is on an expander. The likes of Jarden and Zuster have lower trade discounts. I know that, in Warrenbrook, if you have a shop front, you will get 50% discount. If you're a designer, you only get 30. Same with Greenhouse. So there's lots of varying scales in terms of the discounts. And so, the option is you can keep that in full. You can share some of the discount with your client, or you can pass on the full discount. Okay, so really you've got 3 options on how you're going to deal with your trade discounts. But to be clear, the trade discount belongs to us, the designer, not the client. So it's not automatically assumed that the discount should go to the client. So it's your choice what you do with it. Discounts are the supplier's way, as I said before, of saying thank you for doing business with them, okay? Volume speaks big words for them. And I know even like working with a contact at E&S Trading, you can actually secure lots of trade discounts. And if you're not getting them, I'd really ask, because a lot of suppliers will offer some sort of trade discount. Okay, so, the likes of Adairs and Bed Bath & Table, they all offer trade discounts to designers as well. Provincial Living, which I've had a bit of work with, do not offer trade discounts to suppliers, to designers. So, any questions so far? I'm going to keep going. Go forward. Just going to close the chat box. So it's your choice. There really is no right or wrong way. And this is what I wanted to sort of get to today is, there really is no right or wrong way of handling your discounts from suppliers. There are pros and cons to all 3 options, and we'll go through a bit of those as we go forward. But choose the option that feels most comfortable with you, and be very clear with your client how you deal with trade pricing. And the best way for me to go through that is, I think our customers, clients are becoming very savvy, and the internet world has helped them do that a lot. So I think you need to be fully aware that your clients, and depending on who your ideal client is, of course, your client and your business model, your clients know what's going on out in the world. So they know what things cost. And I guess it's really important to be transparent with them and give them a clear understanding of your process and how you handle trade discounts. I find that it is really important to tell them what you're doing with it. And the way that I like to do that is I like to handle it in my investment guide. So if talking about pricing and the trade discounts is something that you find difficult to actually bring up with your clients, then I always find that it is it's a really great option to put it into your investment guide or your pricing guide, and just explain to them, maybe in the FAQs, this is how you deal with your trade discount. Okay, so what I wanted to chat about here is what I see what I do first and what I see others doing in the industry in terms of handling their trade discounts. So for me, I don't have a blanket way of dealing with my trade discounts, but I do have a sort of overall way of dealing with it. And it depends on what package the client has chosen and who that actual client is. So for instance, if I have a very time poor double income couple who want a full fit out of a home, then in terms of trade discount, they are, in terms of my level of service to them, they are time poor and they are paying me to pull their house together. They're not really shopping price, okay? So I'm gonna really do a very quick feel for my client, and I'm gonna see, are they using me and are they price sensitive, or are they using me and they really want to get their house looking amazing and price is not their number one factor? If that's the case with me, I predominantly use Globe West when I'm furnishing homes. The reason I love to use Globe West is because of their the way that their quoting system is amazing. Like I've had words to other suppliers like Satara and the likes, that their system or trade system actually makes it really easy for us to show the pricing and send our clients quotes. So it makes it easier for us, which saves us time. But, you know, there'll be some people that say that Globe West can be a little bit expensive. And I do believe in some cases they are. They're not always competitive, particularly with the ethnic craft range and some of the other ranges that can be shopped. But in terms of my client, I won't actually offer Globe West product to a client that I know is price savvy and is going to shop me around. Okay, so really important, and particularly as you get more experienced in this industry, that you will get a feel for your client and you'll get to understand what they want, what they're prepared to do and what they're not. So typically I would mark up my, you know, if it was one item I was sourcing from Globe West, I know, and I know a lot of other designers do this too, they actually sell it on at RRP. They don't actually give any discount. If I'm selling a multiple rooms or a big living space, I will usually get a fee, a design fee from the client, and to actually design and choose their furniture. And then I will also give them a slight discount. So I'm really getting money from them through the design fee and also through banking some of the trade discount. So I will give them like a 20% discount off RRP, and I will bank the rest. Okay, so if I'm shopping a client that's really price sensitive, then I will usually bump up my design fee or give them full design fee, which I know my hours are going to be covered, because most likely when I provide them with the list from Globe West, they're usually just going to shop those items somewhere else. Okay, so I want them to pay for at least the design or the selections that I've chosen for them. So, don't underestimate that when you're dealing with clients as well, because you're choosing, you're filling spaces, you know exactly what sizes to get into those spaces, you know what's going to look good, you know how to mix and match different fabrics. And yeah, I feel like sometimes, and in the past, I have lost time and money by not charging a design fee and hoping that they would push the order through, and they didn't take the order and instead shopped it somewhere else, like they might shop it in Freedom or Oz Design, wherever. But if that's the case now, I know that I'm at least covered with my design fee. Okay, and you can head to my website goldchalk.com.au. you want to have a check out what my design is. But I usually in my business, I sell in 5 to 10 hours of work with clients. So I know that I'm at least going to be covered for my time. That is after the initial consultation. And then from there, I will ask them whether they want to furnish and go with a design package, which they will then pay for as well. So 13 years in the business, that's what I've decided to do, how I deal with it. So sometimes I give them, you know, if I'm ordering a full house, then sometimes I may give them, you know, 30% discount. It just depends on who the client is, how much money they're spending, and yeah, what I feel would be a reasonable exchange for my service and for my knowledge. Okay, so the other thing that I do is have a really, so, you know, some supplier, like one client actually I'm working with right now, they have an amazing home that I'm fully fitting out in Ivanhoe in Melbourne. They have an extraordinary budget, which is really unheard of a lot of the time, but we are fitting that house out with really top end products. So for instance, I'm using Grazia & Co, I'm using Zuster and Jardin and high end commissioned art to come into that home, but they have paid me a high design fee. So I've got them 3 lots of 10 hours. So they've probably paid close to 12K in design fees in me selecting, but I choose to pass on fully those discounts. And the reason I do that in transparency to them is because they've paid 12K for design fees, and those high-end suppliers don't offer a big trade discount. So really they have got their money back through the 10% trade or 5%, whatever, depending on the item that those particular suppliers have offered. The other thing I see happening is high design fees and full transparency of the client paying the invoices for stock themselves. So that's another option where you can fully, I find that a harder option to get through, but again, it depends on who your client is. But most likely the everyday designer will have a client that is happy to pay a small design fee and is also happy to share some of the discount. And I find that the easiest way. If you've got a really high-end client like the one that I've got that doesn't come along very often in my particular business, then they're paying a high design fee and getting full transparency on the cost prices. So I think the thing to remember here is that we always want it, we want to treat our clients the way we would like to be treated. We all want to make money, and we have to make money, because if we don't make money, then, you know, we're not going to be able to keep our business alive, and we're not going to be sustainable go forward. But I think we need to make sure that they're happy and that we're happy. Oh, so you had no idea about Bed Bath & Table or Adairs. Yes, they both offer trade discount. So trade, I think, is pretty close to 20%. And yeah, I think the other thing that I really wanted to mention also is, you know, the likes of RJ Living, I think we've probably got to be careful with suppliers. Like I've had a recent client who was very savvy. They paid me a design fee, and then I've given them, they paid me a design fee for 10 hours. I gave them selections for their home, and then they've gone out now and shopped it. So they went to the likes of Trit, RJ Living, that have a lot of the Globe West product, and those suppliers offered to them at a cheaper price than what they had on the quote. So I might have given them 20, I might have marked it up by 20%. So I already knew that they were quite savvy. So I wasn't prepared to make no money on that, but they actually ended up taking those prices to the suppliers, Trit and RJ Living, and getting it cheaper. The ethnic craft range, I really steer away from Globe West as well, because I know that that can be competitively shopped, and usually Globe West prices are a lot higher than what's available out in retail. But I guess something to be really aware of is, you know, your clients will shop prices unless they're really busy and they really just want you to pull it together for them, okay? And that really comes with experience. You just get a read on your client. And look, sometimes you might get it wrong, and that is totally fine, but you will learn as you go along. And the more you do it, you'll find something that sort of works in with the way that you like to work. And yeah, if you're holding stock or you've got a holding bay or wherever before you actually bump in, then I would suggest that you would be at least making some more money on the trade discount. So really industry standard, I think, is anywhere from 30% to 100% markup. And yeah, you've got to find the right scale for you. I believe that a lot of the clients in Australia will not, and maybe even in New Zealand, will not pay really high design fees and then expect no sort of trade discount. But yeah, that's my experience on it. I would love if you want to come off mute, have a chat to me about, or Beck or Tess or Lucy. Anyone got any, or Sarah, got anything that they would like to add to that, or a question that I haven't covered that maybe I can help you with?
Hi, Kylie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It's Lucy here. How are you?
I'm good, Lucy. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
That's good.
Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. Like, it's been really good, because this was something I was struggling with a bit, and so it's given me another perspective.
No worries.
And so a question that I have is, so for example, if you've got, because I'm a you know, a really tiny business, so I'm yet to build big relationships with suppliers and get bigger discounts and things like that. But where you get, you know, something, so sometimes if I get something like 10%, 20%, I feel like it's almost not worth, you know, even so, either passing it to the client in full or just keeping it all together, because it's not that big, especially if it's on smaller items.
Yes.
Because then the thing is, so if you're getting like a small trade discount, would you sort of say, oh, you got 20% off and then it's trade plus 10%, or do you sort of like kind of like not bother?
Well, some designers will charge a procurement fee. So I think the thing that we got to get our head around is there's the designing part where you'll choose, and then there's this whole other section depending on how the client goes ahead with it, whether you'll handle it and put it in and style it, or whether you've just designed it and they'll go off and purchase it and then do the styling and that themselves. But from my experience, if you're getting 10%, I would like to see that handled with, you get a design fee and then you just pass on the 10%, because for me, I would just let that client shop that and buy that themselves. So I would pass on the invoice. So for example, if it was Zusta or Jardin, I would just forward the invoice to the client and get them to pay, because really, if you're making 10% on it, it's not a lot of money. I mean, depending on how much they're ordering. So, you know, if they're ordering 100K, which is, you know, not very often, then, you know, 10%'s quite a good whack. But if they're ordering $100, then it's not worth your time and effort to make $10. Okay, so you've got to weigh it up, but I would always cover myself by getting a design fee first, and then pushing that to them, and then let them handle it. Let them handle getting it, and ordering it, and then let them see. But if you're going to be procuring it for them, you will have to charge them for that, because and that would be more than 10%, because that's going to take up a lot of time for you. You're going to be invoicing, following up. You've got to deal with warranties afterwards, faulty goods. There's a lot of things that can go wrong after. It's not just in the bump in. A lot of things can go wrong afterwards. Does that sort of cover that? Does that answer that?
Sorry, yes, thank you. Sorry, I'm at the zoo with the kids, so I'm multitasking here.
Beautiful day for it.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I do charge like a procurement fee.
Good.
Yes,
Okay.
it did. So thank you for that, because I do charge like a procurement fee, and sort of just, handle the whole process for them. A lot of them have found that a lot easier, because they're just, they're working during the day and all that sort of thing. So
Yeah, because it's efficiency for them, isn't it?
Yeah, because I've had, when you do get like 40 items, again, it's you spending the time following that up and, dealing with refunds, exchanges and whatnot. So, yeah.
My advice there too, Lucy, would be really, even if you're not charging by the hour, track your hourly time, because or the time that you spend on the project, because it'll just give you a really good feel whether, there are some of us that are really efficient at tracking our time and others who find it really difficult. But, even if you're thinking about the project or whatever, always track your time and just make sure that at the end you do a bit of a, like a post synopsis on it, just to see if you're making any money.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, I do that.
Oh, that's good, because sometimes, like even me, sometimes when I'm thinking about a project, I'm not always charging in time, and it does add up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kylie.
No problems at all. Thanks for joining us. If you've got another question, let me know. Hi, Tess. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? Sorry, I've had my video off because I've got little kids running around.
Oh, that's totally fine. I've got big kids running around.
Thank you so much for spending your time doing this today. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problems.
I just had a question in regards how to present. I've got a big job at the moment. It's a commercial job and I'm specifying a lot of furniture, and I want to be as transparent as possible. And I obviously want to note on the quote to them with the furniture, the discount that they're receiving from my trade. But without them, like, am I putting every individual piece of furniture and the cost on there, or do you do like a lump sum? I just want to be transparent, but at the same time without them, shopping me and stuff.
Okay, so it's a commercial project, which leads me to think that they're probably not going to be that interested in the detail.
They're not at all.
Yes.
But they are, it's a really tricky one. They're not budget conscious, but they won't tell me their budget. All the design work I've done for them, they're fine. They're happy to do that. But the furniture stuff, I know if they see a lump sum of, they're going to be like, whoa, but it adds up quickly. It's a huge quantity of order. So I don't know how to tackle it. So yeah.
Can you break it down by room?
Yeah, definitely. It's in sections like waiting room, first office, showroom. Yeah. So I definitely could just do it that way and maybe put figures on it that way. Yeah.
Definitely break it down by room rather than giving them one big lump sum, because I think you can scare them off.
Yeah.
Have you told them how you're going to deal with the trade discount at all? Like, is it
I haven't really. I've always said to them that I'll give them a discount for my trade, so they do it through me, but I haven't told them an amount or anything.
Okay. Look, you're not actually, we as designers are not obligated to tell them what we get. But, and I know that there are lots of designers in our world, like Nicole from Liberty Interiors. She won't actually mention her suppliers to her.
Yeah. Well, I probably in the presentation wasn't going to, because I just thought, I don't need to, I guess, but you know, there's samples and there's things with branding on it that I will show them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought maybe it could be appealing because it is a lot of money that I could just write recommended retail on the quote, and then I can write the discount that they're receiving. So it kind of looks like, oh wow, we're actually getting a lot of money off all this stuff.
Yeah. I would definitely show them the saving by room.
Yes. Okay.
If they want more detail, then you can
I can give it to them. Yeah.
by item. But I don't think for you know, a residential, yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, totally. Yeah, I've never really done a commercial project this big, and so I'm just like, I really want them to
say yes.
Say, well, just I know they're going to regardless, but I want them to go with my first selections that are all, you know.
Yeah, they're probably going to anyway, and
they will. I'm probably overthinking.
We think about it way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of it always, you know, and this is a lot of the stuff that I say to the ladies in the group too. Think about it that what comes so easy for us really is, you know, can be quite mind-boggling for them. And
yes, I've just started realizing that.
Yes.
Because I think, oh, I can't charge for that. Like, it's so easy for me. And then I think, oh my gosh, like my clients, and the busier I get, I just realize how much they don't get it and they really do need me.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, that's the value I'm starting to see, you know, more value in what I do.
Yes. And it's really important to hold on to that and really, you know, treat that so preciously, because I think even as you grow and we become really, like even, you know, after 13 years, I can sometimes take it for granted, the things that are easy for me and that I can do really quickly. Like a lot of the time I'll be at clients, you know, in consults, and they'll say this, you know, it's taken me so long to pull this together and it still doesn't look right. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that easy. You know,
I know.
You just go, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't say it was that easy, but it's what we have is so precious. But I think overall, I think we underestimate how amazing it is.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah, and I know that these guys will love everything I've selected. This is the first time I'm presenting such a high value, you know, furniture and everything. And I think, I just don't want to stuff it up and make it look like I'm being dodgy or, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, other ways that you could deal with it would be in your contract. You could say that, you know, it is at my discretion what suppliers and trade discounts I get and how I use them. I mean, you need to get that legally in the right words.
Yes, I definitely need to sort that out because I haven't done this that well in that regard. But and I charged a good design fee and they've paid that, and so that's fine. I've covered myself in that regard. But yeah, if I can get this furniture order too, it would be really amazing.
And just be, from my experience, when you're doing big jobs, things do go wrong in bump in. And you know, there's lots of warranty, there's faulty goods, so just make sure you're covering yourself for that in terms of, you know, maybe giving yourself some bit more in the trade discount. But it usually there isn't a job when it's scaled that goes completely right. There's always something going wrong. And you've got to be there. There is follow-up time afterwards as well, I find.
Yes, true.
Lots of follow-up and lots of invoicing and lots of following up payments and, you know, all that stuff that takes time.
Oh, yeah, and that was another question in terms of invoicing. So obviously with the job this big, I would do the whole invoice and then I would pay the suppliers.
Yeah, so normally what I do, unless it's like the 10%ers where I don't get much, I'm not even going to worry about it. But
just pass it on.
Yeah, I just pass it on to them to order it and pay for it. But yes, in that time, I'm invoicing the client
for the whole amount. And how do I word the invoice? Do I have to put what's in the quote in the invoice so it looks?
I don't actually list it by item because I've already told them what they're going to do.
Okay, cool, that's fine.
Yeah, whether you have that on a separate sheet or, you know, if they want it by line, or you just have it as by room, depending on, you know, you're going to have to feel that through depending on what kind of level of detail they want.
Sure.
But on the invoice, I like to keep it, I don't like to bog it down by item, but you certainly could if you wanted to. And yeah, I pass it on and then I ask them to pay, and then I do not pay my supplier until they've paid me. Now for me,
Yes.
there's some rules in the industry where they say for furniture procurement, 100% upfront from your client before you'll even place the order. I do 50 and then 50 prior to delivery.
Okay.
So I make them pay 50 upfront, and that's usually 50 inflated because I've added on.
Yes.
And then I pay the supplier 50.
Yep.
And then I, again, when I get the just before delivery or when the stock's all arriving, I'll take the next 50 and then I'll pass it on.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Thanks.
amazing though. That's such a good job.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, good on you.
Thank you.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. Well, I think I have to love you and leave you now after answering my question. So I've just got someone bringing some carpet samples to me. But
no problems.
I really appreciate you today. Thank you.
See you. Take it easy.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. And Beck, does anyone else have any other questions on how they deal with trade pricing? Emily, Sarah, Chloe? I know some of you are already in my group. Any other questions?
Hi, Kylie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm in my kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
good
all right.
thing. No questions, but sometimes I'm always upfront with clients. I generally keep only about that 10% with my jobs, which aren't really huge, but I sort of justify it to them as you pay my design fee, essentially procurement fee as well, but I don't really specify that. But yeah,
you just put it all in your design fee.
I don't list that word procurement, but I write in the scope of work like everything that I'm doing, which will include the ordering of the furniture and coming back and doing the styling, all of that, so they know what's happening. And then the 10% that I keep, I just say it covers the admin if there's any returns, stuff like that.
Yes.
Like you would say. So that's sort of just how I say to people, and pretty much everyone's fine with it because they know they're getting a good price for their products. But I feel like I have the right to be profitable at the same time.
Absolutely. You should be. And you should be just make sure that 10%'s enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know that I could do more, and that's just where I'm sort of learning. But same with like the homewares allowance, where I've said to you before, like vases and stuff like that, I can't specify every little thing on the list because I'll go out with your budget and go specify the pieces, but whatever's left over from that, I keep as well.
Yeah, okay. So just on that, just to give you all an example, I've furnished a house recently, and we've got some of the stock in, we've got most of it in, but there's still some spaces that need a little bit more attention. So I've come back in, and we're going to need more art. So I'm going to have to order her more art. We're going to need, now that she's got all of her other furniture in, she doesn't like one room that wasn't chosen to be furnished. So now she wants that furnished, which is all good for me. But then her last request from me was, I also need you to go and do all the decor stuff because I just have no idea what vases and what trinkets, all those little things to do. So as we talk about in the group, I don't ever give, I have in the past gone through and offered my clients, either shop with me or we go and I explain to them what I'm going to buy. But now I realize that shopping accessories and decor items is so time consuming that I now, and I think you do this too, what you were saying, Chloe, is that now I give them a budget. I say, look, you need to give me probably about $2,000 and I'll go out and get it all for you. I'll provide you with receipts so you know what it's cost, but I can't get you to sign off every single piece because otherwise we are just going to be here going backwards and forwards forever, and it's going to be way too costly for you in terms of paying the time. So I find that is really the only way that I like to deal with it, is I get a budget from them. It's almost like a retainer. I take it, I go and shop with what I think will work. And I don't really have I never have any problems with what I put in. And I will buy that at retail sometimes. So sometimes I'll go to Provincial, I might go to Fenton, I might go to Create Expectations. I'll go to all those places that I know suit that house. And if I need to buy them at retail, I will.
Yeah.
Just to get the look. But
exactly.
yeah.
It is a lot easier being able to shop on your own in your own time than having the client there.
Yes,
and
the client. Because I think it becomes overwhelming for the client as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you don't get everything, it kind of like, when you're with them, it might feel a bit unfinished on their point of view. But just quickly, the other part I think that is handy about keeping a little bit of that trade discount is I mucked up on, I basically undercut myself, undercharged $100 across 2 bedside tables, and she'd already paid me, and I thought, all right, well, that's my mistake. I'm gonna have to wear it. But thankfully the money, the markup, whatever, that's covered that. Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, if your design fees are well and truly covering your time, so be it. But if it's a thin line, then having that bit of a buffer can help you if you make a mistake.
Yeah, you need to have some fat in it, I like to say. You need, because always something goes wrong. Nine times out of 10, something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's all from me.
Great feedback. Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie.
Has anyone else got any questions? I don't think there's any in the chat box. No other questions. So what I was just going to say to you, if you're not already working with me, which I think most of you are, although there are a few on here that are not, and maybe some who are watching the replay, ways that you can work with me is in the Interiors Insider membership. So we're opening again in November. We currently have 50 amazing women in the membership, all at varying levels in their businesses, and we do lots of touch points each month, which you can be fully involved in or as much as you want to be involved in. But the membership is more of what you've just seen here today. So we just share and we compare and we have a lot of open dialogue. And I just give you a lot of, helpful hints and tips on how to run your business and hopefully, answer any questions that you might have. You can also work one-on-one with me, and I have just released a 5-week program called the CEO Mindset. So CEO Mindset is for you if you're feeling stuck in your business, you don't want to commit to a whole lot in the membership, but you would just like to get your mindset ready and set up to get you through the end of 2022 and into a good start for 2023. So really, I've created this because mindset is huge in this industry. And together, like when you have a small group of women working together, the support that you feel and the level that it will actually take your business is next level. And I know that because I see it often. So, when we're in our own little bubbles, we don't actually know what's working, what's, what others are doing. And it's so nice to see how other women do things in their business. And maybe we can try different things to make our own businesses work better. So CEO Mindset is for 5 weeks. We start, I think it's the 11th of October. So if you're interested, send me a DM. There's lots of information in the highlights or in my stories at the moment. So it's going to be open to 10 spots. And it really is working on your mindset and giving you a plan, and me getting really, there's some group work and some one-on-one work that we do together over the 5 weeks to get you focused and heading into 2023. So thank you for coming today again, and I hope that that information has helped you all with your trade discounts. And just a reminder that, you know, there is no real right or wrong way to do it. And as long as you just work it so it works best for your business, and just constantly be looking at it to make sure that you're making money. Okay, that's the main thing. We want to make sure that we make money and that you have every right to be making money in this industry. Okay, and this industry is amazing, as I've always say, but you know, you can earn a really good income in this industry if you're doing it right. Okay, have a great weekend. Hopefully the sun's shining wherever you are, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Thanks. Thanks.
No problems.